Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to a brand new video. So I feel as though we are finally at a point where I can give you a good baby haul. Hey guys, I'm just popping in here really quickly. I'm just sat with Avery. She's having her last feed of the day and I think she's fallen to sleep. Yes, she definitely has. Anyway, I just wanted to pop on here to give a little bit of a disclaimer slash trigger warning. For those of you that know me, that know my channel, Avery here actually went into a cardiac arrest when she was 3 days old. That naturally left us with a lot of trauma, which has definitely had a roll-on effect in terms of what we've bought for this baby. So throughout this video, I do talk a little bit about that event just because I just think it's natural for me to kind of think about that, especially as we are welcoming a new baby. If you are currently pregnant and you have found this video because you're just looking for a good baby haul, I completely appreciate that. The things that I talk about may scare you unnecessarily, so I just wanted to give that little bit of a trigger warning. If things like that would trigger you, or you are sensitive surrounding infant trauma, which is completely understandable, this video just may not be for you. So yeah, I just wanted to pop on here and say that, so definitely bear that in mind before continuing to watch this video. I think we've bought the majority of our things. We've definitely bought the majority of our big ticket items, and I wanted to do this video because not only is it fun for me, but I also thought it might be quite helpful because we have had to be very selective in terms of what we buy for this baby. We are having to be minimalistic. We live in a small 3-bedroom home. The baby will be room sharing when he grows out of our room, so he's going to be in our room for as long as possible, most likely up to 18 months, or at least up until he grows out of his cot. So we have had to think essentials, and we put a lot of research into the bigger items that we bought to make sure that not only were they compact, I suppose, but also convenient for us. They were going to hopefully make our lives easier. But yeah, we put a lot of research into these things, so I'm hoping this might be helpful for you guys. Particularly in the UK, houses tend to be small compared to, you know, the houses you get in the US. Our houses are a lot smaller, our rooms tend to be a lot smaller, and they tend to be quite awkward shapes. A lot of chimney breasts. I know that we have a chimney breast in almost every room in our house, and that makes trying to fit furniture in quite awkward. I have done a couple of short reels talking about the things that we won't be buying for this baby, so if they are up, definitely check those out because I think those are quite helpful too, especially if you're trying to be a little bit more minimalist. But without further ado, let's get into it. So I think the easiest way to do this is probably split it into categories. I don't have everything to physically show you. Some things have been ordered, some things are just too big to kind of reach for, but I will try and put sort of stock photos where I can't do that. I'm also going to try and talk you through the things that we haven't purchased yet but we are going to purchase. So let's start with travel slash transport first. So you might have seen in my short reel that we have decided not to go for a travel system with this baby. This is mainly because we don't have the space for a travel system. As you guys know, Avery is disabled, she has a wheelchair, she has a lot of equipment, and that equipment kind of sits downstairs. So where we would usually have space for a buggy or even a, you know, a double push chair if things were different, we don't have that space, so we don't have somewhere to put a travel system in the house. So what we have actually opted for instead is the Doona X. Now you've probably all heard of the Doona. It is the car seat that the wheels drop down from and then it turns into a stroller. It's really convenient for kind of urban life. But what put me off the original Doona was that obviously it's recommended that you don't keep your baby in a car seat for long periods of time until they can hold their head up. Something to do with restricting their airways, and that did put me off a little bit. But then I discovered the Doona X, and the difference between the original Doona and the Doona X, apart from, you know, things like colours and whatnot, The main difference for me was that the Doona X actually kind of stretches out, so it's in kind of car seat position, and then once it's out of the car and the wheels are dropped and you have it in kind of like pushchair form, the seat stretches out, so it goes much flatter, which makes it much safer for baby, which then gives you the option to keep baby in there for longer. That was the deciding factor with opting for the Doona, and obviously it's very compact. It's the size of a car seat. Granted, it's maybe a little bit larger than a regular newborn car seat, but it is the size of a car seat, and we can keep it in the car, which means it's not going to be taking up any space in the house. We got a really good deal at a local baby store. I think we've got the Doona, we've got the Isofix base, and we've got the rain cover, and all of that I think was less than £650, which seems a lot. But pushchairs, travel systems, they are a lot of money. I have seen them for over £1,000, so really that's not bad considering you're getting the Isofix and the rain cover as well. The hood is in a gorgeous sage green colour. I really love it, and I think we're going to be able to collect it around August time, so really looking forward to that. Next, in terms of transport slash travel, really the only other thing is a baby carrier. Now I do need a baby carrier, definitely a necessity, because I'm not going to be able to push 2 pushchairs at once. So if I'm doing the school run and I have Avery in her wheelchair, baby boy is going to have to be in a carrier. However, to start with, I am just going to be purchasing a standard baby wrap to see him through the first few months, and then when he is a little bit bigger, I will then order a more structured baby carrier. I explain this in my what I'm not buying for my baby short, but the reason for that is there are a lot more options once baby turns 3 months old, so I feel like it would be smart to just wait, and then I can decide what I need closer to the time. Next, let's talk feeding. Now I am planning to breastfeed. I'm quite confident. I mean, I was confident with Avery too, but things took a turn. If you don't know, Avery is G-tube fed, so I did actually breastfeed Avery for the first 3 days of her life, but when she had her cardiac arrest, she lost her ability to swallow safely, so she is tube fed. But had that not have happened, I did intend to breastfeed Avery until she didn't need milk anymore, and that is what I'm really hoping for this baby as well. But like I said, I do feel quite confident in it. I feel as though I've got enough experience in it where I feel like I know what I'm doing and I know what I need. Now obviously, if we're talking essentials, if you're planning to breastfeed, you really don't need anything else. You have all of the equipment you need, but there are definitely things that can make that journey a lot more comfortable. First things first, breast pumps. I do plan to I plan to exclusively give the baby breast milk. But when he's a little bit bigger, I plan to use a combination of express breast milk in bottles and also breastfeeding. This is so that Josh can get to feed him as well, and also to give me a little bit of a break now and again. So I did want to get a wearable breast pump. I had one of these with Avery, and I found it so much easier than sitting there with these 2 massive bottles hanging from your boobs, and you literally just have to sit there. I loved my wearable breast pumps with Avery. I even wore them on the school run a few times when it was really cold and I had a big baggy coat on and the sound was muffled. I actually picked these ones up. Now I looked into all of the kind of really well-known branded ones, but they are very expensive. I ended up getting these ones on Amazon because the ones I got for Avery were from Amazon, and I thought they worked really well. I'm not 100% sure on the brand, but I can definitely link these ones below. And I think what I liked about this kit in particular, it comes with the 2 breast pumps, which you can either use on their own or together. It also came with lots of little kind of bits and bobs. So it came with some breast milk storage pads. It came with a like a nursing bra extender strap, which I thought was really helpful because I don't want to be stretching out my nursing bras beyond what would actually fit to be able to fit these in. So I like the fact that it comes with that extra little strap. It comes with a couple of different flange sizes so that you're not gonna hurt your nipples or anything. This was also really inexpensive as well. I am signed up to the baby wish list on Amazon, so I do get 15% off a lot of the purchases I make off of there, which is really handy. But that's what I've decided to go for in terms of an electric breast pump. Manual breast pump wise, I have decided just to go for the silicone suction style ones, a little bit like the Hacker, but obviously these are not the Hacker. This one is from Medela and this one is more of a kind of generic brand that I found on Amazon. Both of them are from Amazon, but when I was expressing with Avery, I did express with Avery and she had my milk through her G-tube, but I found this really helpful if I was only expressing from one boob. I could pop one of these on the other one, it would just catch all of the letdown, and it's almost like you're getting a bit of a stock without having to put any extra work in. So if I'm feeding baby on one side, I can pop one of these onto the other side and it will catch the milk that would otherwise just be leaking into a breast pad, and then you can build up a little bit of a stock. But they're not very big, so they don't take up too much space. The Modelo one actually came with a few little accessories. It came with a little kind of plug to pop in there just in case this kind of tips over, you're not going to spill your milk. It also comes with a cap which is going to stop kind of any dust or anything getting into your milk, and then it also comes with a lanyard. So if you do have it on one side, you can have it attached to the lanyard around your neck, and then if for some reason the suction fails, at least it's not just going to fall to the floor, you've still got it around the lanyard. So that's what I liked about the Modelo one. But this one is also fine too. I think they're around the same price point. I don't think one was like particularly more expensive than the other. But that's all I purchased in terms of breast pumps. I'm not going to get like a manual breast pump. I don't really see the point with those suction ones. I'm not exclusively expressing, so I think what I have there is plenty. In terms of bottles, we didn't actually purchase any bottles because we ended up getting a free mam bottle with a little pack we got from our gender scan, and we also ended up getting another free mam bottle in an Emma's Diary pack. And personally, I think 2 is plenty of the same brand to start with, because A, we don't know if baby's going to like the bottle, B, I am going to be breastfeeding most of the time, and we also don't know if the baby is going to be fussy with the teat. What I did do though, after seeing a very helpful video on TikTok, is purchase 2 of the Natural Wave teats. These do fit the mam bottle, and the difference between these and the mam teat is this one has a sloped teat. It's much better for baby to switch from breast to bottle because this one doesn't have kind of like a pinch shape to the teat. I'm just trying to limit nipple confusion as much as possible. Yeah, these do fit the mam bottles. They are actually on the mam bottles at the moment, and then I've just popped the mam teats inside here. I haven't thrown away the mam teats because again, you just don't know what your baby's gonna like. The baby may hate these teats and I may switch back to the mam teats. But like I said, I just want to avoid nipple confusion, and these were really inexpensive, and because they already fit the bottles we had, I just thought it was worth getting them. I think the Nook bottles and the Pipetta bottles also have that slope teat as well, if you are interested in that. Next, I have a breastfeeding pillow or a nursing pillow. I had one of these with Avery. Not only did I find it helpful for nursing, it was also helpful for when the kids wanted to hold her, because we could pop this around them and it helped them to support her weight. And then also when the baby is a little bit bigger, it's good for tummy time as well, especially with newborns. It's good to have a little bit of a kind of something for them to sort of lean their upper body on. It helps with their head control. This might be a little bit big to start with, but it will definitely come in handy. I used to use my nursing pillow with Avery for tummy time, and it was definitely helpful. I'll probably end up using this for Avery and her tummy time as well, to be honest. But this one is from Mamas and Papas. I think it's in the oatmeal. I think that's what the style is, but they've got some really kind of beautiful neutral covers as well. I just went for the simplest one. I think this was also the most inexpensive, probably because it doesn't have any patterns. But yeah, not an essential, but definitely makes nursing very, very comfortable. The only other purchase I have for feeding at the moment is actually from Shein. And they are reusable breast pads. I will probably pick up a box of disposable ones along with all the other little bits that I need, you know, like nipple cream, nipple shields. By the way, I 100% recommend, if you're planning to exclusively breastfeed or breastfeed and express, buy some nipple shields. Even if you don't think you'll need them, there may be a point where your nipples are really, really cracked and sore, and I found that having the shields, just using them while my nipples were in that kind of state, just gave me a little bit of relief. But yeah, that's just a little tip. But yeah, reusable breast pads. I like to use these over the disposable ones for obvious reasons: less waste, and also less money. I use reusable ones with Avery as well. These ones are pretty cute designs, and they were really inexpensive. They didn't need to be expensive. They're quite big though. I'm kind of hoping that these will sort of fit. within my bra without peeking out too much. The only other thing that I'd kind of put in the feeding category, it's not exactly in the feeding category, but I'm not sure what other category I would put it into, is our baby bottle sterilizer. We put a lot of research into this. We looked into the UV ones, we looked into the microwave ones. With Avery, we just had one of the cold water sterilizers that you use the Milton tablets in, and that worked great. But for this baby, especially considering our lifestyle, we wanted to make this as convenient as possible, and washing bottles every day was literally the bane of my life. I mean, I already have to wash Avery syringes every day, so adding bottles to that as well, and breast pumps, especially if I'm, you know, using one of these every time I feed, I just didn't want to do it. So we did end up splurging on our sterilizer, and we actually opted for one of the baby bottle washers. We went with the Babello 4-in-1 baby bottle washer, and I am in love with it, and we haven't even started using it yet. I think there's only one other brand that is kind of easily accessible in the UK, and that is the Baby Brezza, but what I found is that one is a lot more bulky. With the Babello, it is quite compact and you don't need to plumb it in anywhere. It comes with a pipe that you literally just stick in your sink, and that's kind of the output pipe, and then it has a little tank at the back you fill up with water. So it washes bottles, so a little bit like a mini dishwasher, and with your purchase you do actually get a bottle of the detergent. It also dries the bottles, it also sterilizes the bottles, of course, and then it also provides a sterile environment for up to 72 hours. So whereas normally you'd sterilize your bottles, you'd put them in the cupboard, they're only actually sterile for 24 hours. Whereas if you keep your bottles within this bottle washer, it can keep them sterile for up to 72 hours, which A, I just think is really, really good and helpful, and B, it saves cupboard space for us. We're going to have a sterilizer regardless, so that space is going to be taken up, but if we can keep all of the pump parts and all of the bottle parts within that baby bottle washer, then we don't have to use that space up in cupboards, which is really helpful for us, and that is just going to make it so much more convenient as well. There's no bottle washing, we can literally just stick on that machine, and then I can actually use that time on other things. Maybe I may even be able to rest while the baby rests. So yeah, it is a pricey purchase, I'm not gonna lie. I think on the market it's around £350, around that. I did get mine on Amazon, I will link it below, and because I use the baby wish list, I did get 15% off that as well. So I did get it cheaper, but I'm really impressed with it. I definitely think it was the right choice, and I definitely think that more baby brands should jump on that bandwagon, because it is a really good idea. Not everyone has space for a dishwasher these days, we don't. So let's move on to bathing and hygiene. In terms of a baby bath, I don't have that to show you because we haven't actually ordered it yet, but I know that we will be getting a foldable baby bath. We have a very small bathroom, we also don't have a bath, we only have a shower because we have a wet room. So I'm going to be buying a foldable baby bath on Amazon. I've already got it in my baby wish list, and it also comes with a little insert to make it more comfortable for a newborn as well. And then when we're not using it, we can just fold it up, put a hook on the wall or something and hang it up and keep it out of the way. For baby toiletries, I actually ended up getting a deal with the baby wish list on Amazon. I feel like I'm just, you know, promoting Amazon, but honestly I did buy an awful lot of my stuff on the Amazon baby wish list just because I thought it was really handy that you get 15% off a lot of these items. But when you purchase anything over £10 on the baby wish list or on qualifying items, you do get a free gift, and one of those things you get to choose. One of those things was a little toiletry set from Child's Farm. So it came with a little baby body wash, a little baby bubble bath, and also a lotion. Baby toiletries can be very expensive. I think these, if you were to buy them, would have cost around £21 for all of them. But I got these for free, and since all the other options for the free gift were either things I already had, I wouldn't use, or I didn't necessarily need, I thought these would be really helpful. These are unscented and they're meant to be really, really sensitive for baby skin and also good for dry skin. I'm hoping these work. We did use a Vino with Avery and she was good with the wash, but the lotion brought her out in a rash. So you never know, I may not end up using these if baby doesn't react well to them or baby skin is different. but at least we kind of have our starter toiletries. We bought our baby towel from M&S. I actually got a gift card for M&S with our EV charging point company. We won like a draw and we got a £25 gift voucher for M&S, which we did spend on a couple of baby essentials. So this is from M&S and I think it's really cute. It also comes with a little mitt, which is what this is. I went for the fox. I think it's meant to be a fox. But I went for the fox because it's brown and I feel like this is going to hide more baby stains than the kind of creamy colours. This was £12. I did only buy one purely because I do a load of washing every single day, so it's not going to be an issue for me to only have one. I think if we only had the one baby and we weren't doing washing all the time, I would maybe buy more than one, but one is definitely plenty for us. And then in terms of a changing mat, I'm not actually buying a new changing mat or changing wedge or anything like that, like a big one, because Avery has one. We bought Avery a wedged changing mat from the Gilded Bird before she was born. It cost me £20 and it's beautiful. I love it, and we still use it for her when she comes out of the bath. So I really didn't see the point in buying another one. Now, in saying that, it is girly, it's full of flowers, you know, we bought it for a baby girl. So what I did buy instead, and these are from Shein, and I do actually have a couple of other bits to show you from Shein, but I will probably do that at the end. I figured I would just try these, and then if they didn't work out, I could try and find some on Amazon, because it's quite difficult to find them in the right size. But these are basically wedge mat covers, and they're in really lovely prints. I love this green one, but they're in nice gender neutral prints. So I am just going to keep one of these on Avery's changing mat, and then they can share it. And it's nice to have two, because when one gets dirty, which inevitably it will, it can go in the wash and I can switch it to the other one. So yeah, really inexpensive on Shein. I will link them below if I can. Also from Shein, I know I just said that we're not going to be buying a changing mat, but I meant kind of like a big one for home. This one is actually for the baby bag. We already have kind of like a little travel changing mat in the baby bag. The reason why I bought this one instead is because the one that's in there is pink, because it's Avery's. So I just thought it'd be nice to get a gender neutral one, so I'm just going to pop this in the baby bag. I am not buying like a new baby bag, guys. I might buy a new little bag just to use as the baby's hospital bag, but in terms of, you know, our everyday baby bag, I'm not buying one. I use my green bag from Teddy Blake. I've shown it to you guys before. That at the moment is Avery's kind of baby bag. I don't see the point in buying a new one. I love the bag, so they can share it, and it's green, so it's gender neutral. But yeah, I'm just going to pop this changing mat in there instead because it's gender neutral, and then I'm not changing our baby boy with a pink changing mat. Not that it matters, it really doesn't matter, but it's just personal preference. This one is pretty decent quality and it's Shein, so naturally it was very, very affordable. It's a pretty decent size. I'd probably say this is too small for Avery, but it just does come in handy if she has a bit of an explosion. We can pop this underneath her bum just to make sure she's not going to get poop anywhere. Let's move on to sleeping. Now, I feel like this is quite a significant category for us as a family. For those of you that don't know, Avery actually went into cardiac arrest during the night when she was 3 days old. So sleep, especially in those early days, is going to be something that we are going to be very, very, very on edge about. So we have done a lot of research into some of these things, and yeah, this is a bit of a bittersweet topic. So first of all, let's just go with the cot/crib. So we opted against a kind of next to me crib, or any kind of crib where it's easy for me to bring baby into bed. I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. I'm trying to keep along the kind of safe sleep guidelines as much as possible. Also, because we have a small bedroom and because baby is going to be in our room for as long as possible, we didn't see the point of buying him something he was going to grow out of in 6 months. So we actually went for the petite cot from Mamas and Papas, and I chose it in the cashmere colour. It just looks like a really nice sort of beige/greyish colour, although I've not actually seen it in person yet. You might be able to see the box behind me there. I just haven't opened the box yet. I really should check it. But I bought that with the mattress. With the mattress it cost £144, so that's I'd say that's inexpensive in terms of the kind of cribs that are on the market at the moment. But the reason I chose a petite cot over a crib is because it's about the size of a sort of bedside crib, maybe slightly larger. I think the mattress size is like 90 centimeters by 50 or 60 centimeters, something like that. But the base actually drops down like it would in a regular cot. So when he reaches the age where he's starting to sit up, we can drop the base and then he is safe in it then for up to 18 months. And it fits in that little corner over there perfectly, which means I do then have to get out of bed to be able to lift him out of his cot at night. So that is what we've chose in terms of his kind of nighttime sleeping. For daytime sleeping, I purchased the snooze basket. That is another thing that you might be able to see behind me, maybe not, it is just down there. But I chose the walnut base, and then I can't remember the colour of the basket, but it's almost like it's like a greyish, but it almost has kind of veins running through it. It's really, really beautiful. I bought that on Amazon. Again, I could put it through my baby wish list and get a discount on it. And again, for a crib, not too expensive. I'd say it's comparable to most of the others on the market. But I wanted some kind of Moses basket style crib downstairs because I wanted somewhere that the baby could sleep while I'm downstairs with Avery or potting about doing other things. It also comes with the mattress, which is really handy. And in terms of mattresses, I ordered the mattress sheets for both of those on Amazon. These ones are for the snooze basket. I really love the style of these. One's just like a cool tone brown and the other one has these cute little rainbows. I have checked one of these to make sure it fits, and it does. These ones I have not checked because obviously I have not taken the cot out of the box or anything yet. These ones are for the cot. So we have 2 of each for obvious reasons. I'm not going to be buying a mattress protector. What I'll be using instead is kind of incontinent pads, because we purchased those anyway for Avery. So because we kind of keep them on rotation anyway, there's no point in using anything else. We'll just use what we already have. In terms of swaddling, I do like to swaddle in the early days. I have a couple of things in my Amazon wish list at the moment that I'm probably going to purchase this month. I'm kind of torn between the Love to Dream swaddle and the Tommy Tippy. The Tommy Tippy has a few bonus points because it has the buttons on the sides, which means that I can bring baby's arms out when he's a little bit bigger and he doesn't need to be swaddled in. And also I can buy those in a 2.5 tog. Baby's due in September, so it will start to get colder after that. So I might buy both, or one of each, or 2 of one of the other, I don't know, but those are the ones that I'm gearing towards. Those are more nighttime swaddles. In terms of daytime, I do just use muslin swaddle blankets, and another Shein purchase. I bought this 2-pack of muslin swaddle blankets. They're nice and big enough to swaddle a newborn, and I love this teddy bear print. It's everywhere at the moment and I just think it's so cute, and it's great that it's gender neutral as well. But yeah, it came with this one and then just a brown one, and that's perfect just to kind of swaddle baby in the day. In terms of sound machines, I am not 100% sure if we're going to get one yet. Avery did have, I can't remember what it was called now. It was a little grey one, and we loved it. If I can find it on Amazon, because we did buy it on Amazon, I'll link it below. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to buy one, purely because sometimes babies don't need it. The reason we ended up getting one for Avery is because we noticed that she liked the sound of the Hoover. So I mean, the likelihood is I might get one. I would probably just end up getting one really similar to the one Avery had, or maybe even I think the Love to Dream does a cute little heart-shaped one. But I'm not opposed to white noise. I just think that it is still quite a new thing, and we made it a really long time without them, so I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to get one or not yet. The rest of the items in the sleep category, I think are, maybe most people wouldn't think they're essential. They're essential to us because of what we've been through. Obviously we, me and Josh, have a lot of trauma surrounding pregnancy and birth and newborn babies, so we are doing things because of that. So this is actually not something we've purchased for this baby. This is what we purchased for Avery when we brought her home from hospital. I will say it didn't quite do the trick. We did end up getting full-on SATS monitors for Avery to keep an eye on her through the night, but this is really handy and it's inexpensive. I think it's around £100, and this is the Snoozer Hero MD, and what this does is it clips onto baby's nappy and it kind of rests on their tummy just like that, and then every time baby takes a breath this makes a really tiny little clicking sound, and then if for any reason it's not registering baby's breaths, and it is quite sensitive, if for any reason it's not registering baby's breaths, I think after a certain amount of seconds it will sound an alarm. With Avery we were a little bit more scared, I suppose, and we felt as though we needed an alarm that was going to be much louder than that, because we were so sleep deprived. But it is really good. I would definitely recommend that. But to go alongside this, we are also going to be purchasing the Owlet sock. We haven't purchased it yet, but we definitely will be. I went back and forth about ordering one of these before Avery was born, and in the end I convinced myself that it would just end up giving me more anxiety than it was worth, because I'd be forever checking it, and sometimes the connection's just not right. I mean, even with Avery's SATS monitor now, sometimes the connection's not right and it sounds an alarm when there's actually nothing wrong with Avery's oxygen or heart rate at all. So I opted not to get it for Avery. Obviously, in hindsight, I really wish we had have. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. This time I am going to be getting it. But like I said, our situation is very, very unique. I'm not saying you need these things. These things are essential because women have been raising healthy babies for years and years and years and years and years before these things were invented. But because of our situation, because of what we've been through, these things are essential to us. They're essential to our mental health more than anything. I don't know if we'd be able to sleep without them. So I think that's everything for sleep. Next category I guess we'll call sort of clothing slash miscellaneous. So miscellaneous. I bought a dummy clip from Shein. The only things that I wouldn't want to buy on Shein or sites like that are things that are going to be coming into contact with the baby's milk. So they do sell things like this on Shein, and nipple shields and all sorts of things like that, but I just wanted to be safe and making sure that they were definitely kind of safe plastic, BPA free, all of that. But I did get a dummy clip. This one's really, really cute. It's in like a beige colour and nice and simple. We have 2 of the Mam dummies. I haven't purchased any more. I probably will purchase one other brand and then that's it, because again, babies can be fussy with teats and we don't know if the baby's even going to take to a dummy. So 1 dummy clip is plenty. I definitely think it's worth having a dummy clip because there's nothing worse than losing your dummy or dropping it and it falling on the floor. To go alongside that, I did just pick up one of these little dummy pouches. What is it called? A Soothe-a-Pod. This is from B&M. It's just made of silicone. It's a really nice sage green colour, and it does have these little holes in it just to kind of keep the airflow going throughout. And just to pop a dummy in, a spare dummy, and then stick that or hang it off the baby bag. And then we've also always got a dummy to hand if he decides to spit his out, and it does end up on the floor. We have a clean, fresh one. So the plan is to keep a sterilised one in there at all times. And then clothing. I'm going to start with the newest item. This is or was a gift from my mum. We popped into Primark the other day and I mentioned that the baby didn't have a snowsuit for winter yet. He doesn't need one straight away because September tends to be a milder month. So she's purchased this one in 3 to 6 months. It's just this gorgeous kind of fluffy material, and it's got the teddies in the hood. Which is really cute. You've probably noticed by now that I am very much into neutrals when it comes to baby clothes. This was £12, I think. Yeah, £12 from Primark, and it's just blooming adorable. I'm not going to show you all of the clothes that I've bought because I feel like we'd be here forever, and we are still trying to accumulate more and more clothes. We're done for newborn size though, which is great. So we're kind of moving on to 0 to 3 and 3 to 6, which is where we will kind of stop. I've told Josh don't buy anything beyond 3 to 6 because we do have to store these clothes for that amount of time. And if this baby is going to follow in the footsteps of his sister and brothers, he will stay within the smaller sizes for longer than expected. So my boys tend to stay within a clothing size for a good 2 to 3 months beyond. So they'd be in 0 to 3 until they were about 5 months old, and it wasn't until they were nearing on 6 months that they would end up in 3 to 6. Avery's a little bit different because she did lose a lot of weight when she was in the ICU, so she did stay dinky for quite a while, but the boys, they were quite small. All of my babies tend to be on the smaller side, still healthy size, but on the smaller side. So I'm expecting the same from this baby, but he may shock me yet, I don't know. What I do want to show you is the clothes that I picked up from Shein. Shein has some beautiful baby wear, but I was skeptical, so I did pick up a little selection of baby clothes from Shein to share with you guys, and also to see for myself what the quality was like. What I will say is the smallest size they do on Shein is 0 to 1 month, and I would say that runs a little bit big. I would say these were maybe more in the 0 to 3 category. So first, and this is one of my favourites, and this was in 0 to 1, is the little 3-piece set. So it comes with these little knitted footed trousers, and this is a soft knit, like this is a really nice soft fabric. It also comes with the little matching jumper and then a little matching hat. So a little 3-piece set, and I think that is so cute. Next, this one is a little bit more lightweight, is this lovely, it's almost like an olivey green colour, little all-in-one. I like that it has working buttons going all the way down the front, and I like that this one actually has the poppers along the bottom, because I did find that some of the rompers didn't have these poppers on the bottom, which makes things a little bit inconvenient. And this just came with a little matching hat, so that is the second set that I bought. Not as soft as the knit, it's in this kind of like little waffle fabric, but it's definitely soft enough for baby, and it's really adorable. The next one is similar, but it is in this kind of like sort of oatmeal kind of colour, and it's more of a sort of ribbed texture. Again, like the last one, it has the little buttons on the bottom, and again it also comes with a little matching hat. This one is so adorable. I'd probably say this one's the most true to size out of all of them. Just this little all-in-one with little animals all over it. The fabric on this is quite strange. Now the inside is lovely and soft, so it's going to be nice against baby skin. The outside is almost like, it's like a strange kind of almost shiny fabric, so I don't know how well this will wash. But for the sake of a newborn item that they grow out of very, very quickly, and for how inexpensive it was, I mean, it's Shein, so everything was really, really affordable. This is really, really adorable. And then last but not least, and this is 100% my favourite, and I'm so sad they didn't have this in 0 to 1, they had this in 1 to 3 months, which is what I bought it in. I would definitely say this is more maybe 3 to 6. It's quite big for 1 to 3, but it's just this beautiful knitted all-in-one, and it says hello world on it, and that is embroidered as well. I don't like prints that are kind of ironed on, because I feel like they end up peeling off in the wash, but this one is embroidered. It just has the 2 little buttons on the back to make it easy to go over baby's head, and then also it has the buttoned crotch as well. So those are all the clothes I picked up from Shein. There is a little outfit that I would really like to buy. I've seen it on Etsy, and it's like an announcement outfit. It's like a gorgeous little knitted romper, and it comes with a matching hat and booties. So I may still purchase that, but aside from that, with newborn we are pretty much done. My mum is going to be knitting a couple of things as well. So yeah, that's all the clothing I have to show you, but I'm definitely impressed with the bits that I bought on Shein, considering how affordable they are. When it comes to baby items, they can be very, very expensive, especially the bigger things, so I like to be able to save the money where I can, and where, you know, is appropriate to save money. Some things I did splurge on because well, I've kind of explained it all through the video. So in terms of the other big things that we need, I've mentioned most of them. The only other thing I haven't mentioned is a baby monitor. Obviously we're going to be purchasing a baby monitor. I'm just not 100% sure which one to get yet. I'm either leaning towards the 5-inch VTech as kind of like a standard baby monitor, or I have seen one on Amazon that's actually a dual baby monitor. So it comes with 2 cameras, 1 screen, and you can have 2 babies on at once. So we still have Avery on a baby monitor because we like to keep an eye on her at night, so it could be really handy to have 2. It's not as much of an issue while the baby's in our room, but when it gets to the point where I want to start transitioning baby into sort of napping in his crib, or napping in his cot upstairs, then obviously we'll need a baby monitor then. But I think I am not going to be taking my eyes off of him for at least the first few weeks, so he will be sleeping downstairs while I am downstairs. So I think that's maybe why I haven't been in such a huge rush to buy a baby monitor, but I probably still will buy one before he's born. And then the rest really is just kind of little bits and bobs which I will kind of get over the next few months. I'm currently 26 weeks, so I have just over 3 months to go, which is a terrifying thought. But it's gone really quick, especially my second trimester has gone very, very quick. And I think Josh is really pleased because with Avery, I had huge anxiety in my second trimester. I have no idea where it came from. Avery was a COVID baby, so it could have very well just been the situation that everyone was in. I was very anxious and I took it out on Josh an awful lot. I was quite horrible to him. And I think he's been dreading the second trimester because of that reason. But I told him the other day that I only had 2 weeks left of my second trimester, and he was like, really? And he was just so surprised that he's managed to get through the second trimester unscathed. So yeah, that is everything we've purchased. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I hope that some of you found it helpful. Like I said, our situation is quite specific, so a lot of these things may not be essential to you guys, but these are the things that are essential to us. I think we've been quite minimal. It definitely helps in a way that we've had no nursery to decorate. That has saved us a lot of time and money. But yeah, I'm quite happy with all of our purchases, and I feel as though I've done my due diligence with kind of what I've bought, making sure I've bought the right things. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and with that said, I will see you guys again in the next video. Bye guys.